I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
And I'm Jaden.
And we're the YHWH the Torah YouTube channel.
We are so glad you are here to join us.
We know that your time is very valuable, and we are going to make the very most of this time because you cannot qualify this kind of time because it is time with Yah. It is seeking and understanding His laws, statutes, and commands. And hey, the band is back.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back. Hey, it's like the Beatles reunion, except they're all dead. They all dropped them out of the sky, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, long before your time. I think so. I don't know.
didn't even know they
that
had
was a
a
little bit
reunion.
before my time.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think
No, they didn't.
I think I'm
Hey, we got Nicole too. Hey, everybody's here, everyone. Where you guys been?
We've been working. We had to deal with runaway cows,
So you've been chasing cows through the jungle?
pretty much.
How many miles of cow running did you do?
Not
I at least did 10 miles by myself.
I would say you guys probably did like 10 miles of running through the deep, grassy jungle that is very
Wet.
wet, very rugged, very hardcore. And at the end, we got all our cows back. But yesterday, what happened?
One of the calves died.
Yeah, one of our calves died. And so the day that we did it, and this is something crazy because we keep every time that we do Torah stuff, every time that we seek Yah and we seek to teach everybody the laws of Yah, everything in our life goes haywire. And it's not, I don't think it's simply because we have 10 pit bulls, which is out of the norm for sure. And it's very hard to maintain them and keep them, and as well as maintain ourselves. But every time that we do Torah, there's just a supernatural, crazy events that go down. And the baby calf that we had was doing perfectly fine. Everything was good. And it's so wet around here that the calf fell down. He fell down a couple times, and I think he had internal damages, and he ended up dying. So the reason that Eli and I were doing our YHWH and the Torah early without these guys is because as all of our cows ran away, with the rest of them, we only have like 5 left, 6, and they all ran one day, right? The beginning of the day, we've discovered they are all completely gone, every single one of them, which is, it's just not possible that they all took off. And they I guess it was possible because they all took off and they jumped a wall that we have, and they took off, and they caught another herd that I guess was up the road that was running away, and they all ran away together. And so we lost everything, and we also lost our 2 calves that we had left. They disappeared. We had no idea where they were at. And it was the day, it's literally the day Hasatan is having his way with us. And we know that we will be sifted like flour. And like I said yesterday, I said when the calf died, I said, don't cry for this. All we need to do is just do more Torah. If we want to attack the demons that are attacking us, then we need to fight back using the word of Yah, which is greater than anything, right? They can take us, they can take our lives, they can take our cows, they can take our dogs, they can take whatever, but they will not take our souls. And so here we are, everybody. And before we start, I'd like to say, I'm going to tell you guys 2 things that I am completely feel blessed about. And I would like you guys to come up with a couple things as I am talking about this. Here's what I think is one of the most amazing, and I'm thankful for it, is Thomas, the sun, right? And in the book of Enoch, it calls him Thomas. But I am thankful that Yah created the sun. And I'll tell you why. The reason that I am very thankful that he created the sun is because every single day we have light, we have heat, we have power because of the sun. We have our crops that are able to grow because of the sun. Everything that we have, if we didn't have the sun, right, we would be completely dead. So I'm very thankful and very grateful that Yah has created such an incredible design and incredible stuff. So I like the sun. The second thing I feel very, very blessed about that is also what is almost a curse for us is our dogs, the pit bulls. And we are, I guess, what would be called pit bull connoisseurs, or we are professional pit bull raisers. And again, that is not by choice. It's simply because Caden left the door open one time. We had 3 pit bulls total, and that's probably the extent of everything we get. Cade left the door open, and we ended up with an extra 7. Whoops. And whoops. And so here we are, and the Nicole is a mother of twins, and we all knew right when we first got the dogs, we got to get rid of the dogs. This is insane. And as babies, the dogs, they were pretty good. They started getting crazy. And for those who don't know how dogs are, when mother dogs are changing from milk that they feed them to solid food, they will eat the food. The mother dog will eat the food, and then throw it up, they blow chunks, right? They just puke it up, and it looks like dog food. It looks like regular dog food, and all the pups, they go for it. That is where the fighting, we noticed the fighting was a little bit more than normal, is because every time she threw up and was feeding her dogs, there was a fight. And so it went from like not having to keep our eyes completely on the puppies and the babies to whenever she was doing that, all of a sudden they were like itty bitty tiny dogs. But at the same time, they were in the palm of our hands, and you could like pick them up, and the little tiny teeth, and it's just kind of like ha ha ha. Oh man, this is crazy. But they got bigger, and they started doing other stuff. And we have a saying about don't trigger the pack, and we have to be smarter than other individuals, other people. We have to do things very, very smart, because if we just go running out the door, out like something happens outside and we decide we're going to run out the door, well, you'll have 10 pit bulls running right behind you, and it's easy to get them triggered. But the blessing that I see is that the creation of Yah, and every single day I look at these pit bulls and I see how they work and how they operate, how they deal with fleas, how they deal with each other, how they deal with itches, right? And their design and the way that they can bounce around and move around, and it is one of the most amazing creations I've ever seen. Also, their intellect, right? They're very, very smart. They're extremely smart animals. They know how to get in and out of things. They're amazing creatures. And then I guess the most amazing thing that I see about the pit bulls is the kind of love that they have. Is every single one of them, I would say, are probably very close to a human. In fact, some of our pit bulls are probably more lovable and more affectionate than a lot of humans that you will engage with. And these things, we love our pit bulls with every last breath. And that is why we literally get in the middle of a pit bull fight. And if you've never experienced a fight at all, it's dangerous, right? A pit bull, a dog fight of any kind is dangerous. But then when you have a pack, the pack will trigger itself, and one person or one dog, one person is, I guess is what we call them here. They're people, little people does. But one of them will start up, and then the other one, somewhere out of nowhere, another one comes and starts a fight. You could even have 3-on-1, and your only objective is to save the one and stop the fighting. So we have all literally dove in the middle of a dog fight and pry open mouths and sit there and fight off the other dogs so one dog doesn't get ravaged. Because you only have seconds. You only have literally seconds before something horrible happens. And so it is a crazy life that we lead. It's we haven't really explained it like this, maybe a little bit, but I feel very, very blessed by. I guess I'm blessed, and it feels almost like a little curse as well. It's like babysitting day in and day out. Like literally from the time that we open the doors and all the dogs come out, they all howl and scream and they go crazy, and then they calm down, and then it is literally babysitting all day long. You can't take your eyes off the pits, or you could have some issues. And I suppose you could take your eyes off them, but the issues are what triggers some sort of pack PTSD. So anyway, that is what I feel blessed about that Yah has made, has created. Cade, what do you got?
I feel very blessed about the people here on the channel, everyone that is looking for the Torah, everyone that is willing to open their mind to Yah. Just feels like a very blessed thing to have people that are actually searching for Yah, and people that you can actually talk to the Torah about with open minds. And it's a very good feeling to have people around that were willing to follow Yah and actually willing to open their hearts to His Word.
Yeah, and I'll follow that up. That's very good. I'll follow that up because we have another channel and that we had forever, and they're anti-Yah for the most part. Nobody there is seeking Yah. Nobody cares about the commandments. I'm just some Judaizer legalistic stuff, and I mean you get literal devils and demons, and so when there is a channel where people are actually seeking the heart, mind, and soul of Yahuwah, it is very refreshing. We've Sylvia Ewerts, we love her. She's a family member to us. Let's name some of the people that we love on this. Sylvia, we have Adiel and her mom, and we have
Fearmonger,
and Mason and Holgar and Natasha. I don't know if Missy ever listens to our stuff anymore, but we love Missy. And who's out there? The Grand. We love the Grand. Who else do you guys
Hannibal
have?
Gray.
Hannibal Gray. And I guess her dad, Two Moons. But those she has a little tribe over in Hawaii. And so there's a lot of people out there, and if we didn't mention you, it's simply because we're doing this on the fly, and so I threw these guys under the bus. But we love all of you guys, and yeah, we truly appreciate it. Jade.
I'm thankful for today is the Shabbat. We have a day of rest. After a long week, we get to go into a rest, and we don't have to work today. We don't have to do a lot. We can rest and be with the Creator.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyone have anything to follow up on the Shabbat?
Yeah, after a long week, you just kind of need a refresher where you don't have to worry about anything, but basically the Word of Yah and getting rest, right? Refreshing yourself after weeks of hard work. Your body's going to need that rest. If you don't rest, you're going to go into the week completely feeling very
drained,
sore.
Yeah, sore and drained. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it is a really, normally don't you do Yahoo in the Torah this like this, but because of the little oath that Eli and I, we kind of made to Yah when our cows were gone, which he completely delivered us. And, he delivered us. I mean, these kids are running through dangerous jungles and dangerous stuff, and the snakes are all over the place. It is just a very dangerous place. And he delivered all our cows back, and Hasatan only was able to get our baby calf, and that I see as a blessing, because all cows were gone, right? And we had nothing. We cried to Yah, and so as we make it to a Sabbath, it is a very peaceful day compared to the rest of the rigmarole that we roll. Eli.
I feel blessed about the rain. We have our crops grow, we have our grass grow that our cows can eat, and sometimes just refreshing.
Yeah, it is really refreshing, because we have where we're at. We have two seasons. We have wet and dry, and during dry season we kind of run out of water, and so during wet season you can just plant, and everything is out. It just kind of goes, because you don't have to worry about the water or anything of the sort. Nicole, do you have anything over there? Are you coming up? I threw her under the bus. I am throwing you under the bus. She's a little bit of ways. Give me something. Come up over here and hack it up, will you?
I guess I'm blessed for our family that Yah created our family that we have here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, family is extremely important, and it is a blessing. I mean, we struggle. In fact, we probably struggle more than a tremendous amount of families out there, and I don't even know how to explain it. But the more Torah that we teach, the more we are sifted by Hasatan. And yesterday, when our calf died, we had some tears, but I'm like, you know what? Look, he's another cow into Yah's lands. Accept our cow. We are super sorry, and we are the family again. We've said it. We've never eaten one of our cows ever. We've never ever. We've had cows for how many years? 7 years, and we've never eaten one of them. The only one that's been eaten is by our dogs, and he fell sick, and we ended up having to take his life. And so we really, the cows and the dogs, I mean, everything, all the animals are kind of family to us. We love animals. We love anything with fur. It's probably something that may get us killed or something, because we will try to pet anything with fur. It's like, oh, that's cool. And it might come up.
The caterpillars.
Yeah, don't pet the furry caterpillars of South America. They will actually hurt you real bad.
One thing of fur we don't like.
Yeah, one thing of fur we don't like are the caterpillars with spikes that come out. Okay, well, that is the beginning of this, and I want to go over some of the commands, because we actually, in Exodus 21 and 22, Eli and I did that without the rest of these, rest of the spokes in the wheel, and this is what we came up with yesterday from, because Exodus, let me take us over real quick right here. So Exodus 21 and 22, is it 21? Yeah, 21 and 22 21 was completely judgments. It was basically if you were living in the land of Yisrael, right? Because we don't have Hebrew servants. We, we're not gonna. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna give my daughter to somebody and make her a Hebrew servant. And if I had a daughter, I definitely wouldn't do that. But 22 was a lot of the same, except towards the bottom. We ended up with some commands, and so this is where I want to go. So 28 was do not covet anything of your neighbors, and that came from 2017. So 29, do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched. 30, do not go up to the altar by the steps. And again, these are ones that you're probably not going to make an altar. And if you do make an altar, this is how to do it, right? Don't add metal to it. Don't hit it with metal. And if you do make an altar, don't go up by the steps. And so those would not kind of be for us, but assuming that if you do, just so you know it. Now, 31 came from Exodus 22:22. Do not oppress the fatherless or the widow, which is very important. And that's something that can apply to everybody, right? It is not something that is just for the land of Yisrael, because there's fatherless and there's widows all around us. And so Exodus 22:22 was, ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. And then 32 is, do not eat what is torn of any beast. And ye shall be holy men unto me, neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. All right. 40 paws up. Yeah. All right. So that is important, right? Why is it important, anyone, that we don't eat the torn beasts from the ground?
I mean, one, if you eat a torn beast, you don't know how long it's been there. There's infection, there's diseases, especially if it's not a clean animal. There's a lot of bacteria that can go into those open wounds that is torn. Unless you kill it yourself right there, you know what killed it, which was you. Then you don't know what you're putting in your mouth. And
plus, how it bleeds out is different. Like if we do cows, I don't want to go too much into it, but you got to like bleed them out a certain way. And it's if it's all torn up and it dies, that's the thing. Also, if it dies in a way of fear and terror, like the meat could be funky, right? There's something about it, and it's a command, so we just shouldn't do it. All right, so let's get into that. This is Exodus 23. Everyone ready?
Yep.
It's good to be back, folks.
Yeah.
Would you rather be out chasing cows in the jungle?
No, that's
at
just
night and in the rain.
It's
yeah,
like-
and plus it was raining, folks.
like hours. There's just like hours of like almost like it felt like despair.
It was definitely frustration.
Yeah, frustration. They came back and they were almost looked dead. I mean, these guys, they came back in and it had been raining for a good 5 hours, and they were all in the rain. We have two-way radios that we put into a bag, but other than that, and they carry it in the rain. But this is not a life for the weak of heart. You go out here and you commit to a way of living, and it's not for weak folks. So anyway, let's continue on. Exodus 23. Let me know if you guys hear any commands. You shall not raise a false report.
Okay.
Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Okay.
All right. There's
very first command, right out of the gate. Right. Yeah. 2, you shall not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shall you speak in a cause to decline after many to pervert judgment. Okay. There's 2 commands right there. Eli, you're going to have to add these in, please. I mean, because this is literally a command, right? So we should not raise a false report. So this is not just in the land of Yisrael. You should not go and say evil things. 3, neither shall you countenance a poor man in his cause. What does that mean, Jade?
Ours says, and do not favor a poor man in his strife. So don't sit there and try to give pity to a poor man that is striving with something, right? You have to let him work out his own problems, or you're going to get yourself into the same problems he's in.
Yes.
Not to say don't try and put him on the right road, but don't sit there and continually give and give and give. You have to basically let him go. It's like the saying, you teach a man to fish and you feed him forever, but if you just give him the fish, you just feed him for a day.
Yeah, and there's an old wise doctor I used to know used to tell me this, and he's like, you can't save everybody. You can give them a try, but sometimes the needy become helpless, and you become the only thing, and they'll drag you down. And so that is not to say that we shouldn't help them. I mean, you got to always help those in need. But again, like you said, sometimes we need to teach them how to fish versus just giving them fish all the time. All right, 4. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. Okay, so there's another one, right? I mean, this would count for us today. So there's 3 or 4 commands here already.
Yeah, someone you don't like, someone that has done you harm, and you see his cow out and you know it's his cow, he says that you need to return it. That is the right thing to do, even if you hate that person. What Yah tells you to do, because you're loving your neighbor with all your heart, right? Even though he's done you wrong, you have to bring back his stuff.
And it's not the cow's fault it's out. And if you leave cows out around here, the people walk around with machetes, and so you can completely lose a cow extremely fast. They will strip a cow to nothing. I've seen a cow disappear in moments.
Yeah, people here, there's a lot of stories of people just load them up and driving away.
And it's something that most people probably don't know, but South America, how South America is, and I think it was for everywhere from Mexico on down, is you don't have regular windows in your house. We do, because you can't really get here. But everybody else has bars across every window. So it looks like from Mexico down, and I don't know if that's all in Mexico, but I do know in some of the places in Mexico, Guatemala for sure, Honduras, when you build a house, you put bars over the outside windows, and that just helps detour people, because I guess they see an open window and they just break it or walk in it or something. And we've been cleaned out. When we were building our house, we completely lost everything we had. They came in and they robbed us completely blind. So these lands are for the strong. You got to be strong down here. Okay, so we have what, 4 commands already? Mm-hmm. All right, 5. If you see the donkey of him that hates you lying under his burden and would forbear to help him, you shall surely help with him. Okay, so what does that mean?
So
I think that would
if
go
you see
under
like
that.
I think his donkey is like if it's like falling down, right? Like lying under his burden. I think a burden was referring to something it's carrying, but it's too heavy for the donkey. I think is what that was referred to.
So you grab
When
something.
we looked it up last, I think it was like to help the donkey up or like take part of the burden off of him and carry it yourself. I think is what it was referring to.
So if you see the donkey of him that hates you lying under his burden and would forbear to help him, you shall surely help him. So if it's lying under his burden, I would say that he can't get up.
It's falling down, right? It's too heavy.
It's messed up. Yeah, and the guy's like whipping the
guy's
donkey.
like,
Get up,
the
donkey.
guy's packed it too full. It's like you gotta go help the donkey.
So this version says, if you see the donkey of one who hates you lying, helpless under his own load, you shall refrain from leaving the man to cope with it alone. You shall help him to release the animal.
Yeah. So that's like good to. I mean, you shouldn't leave the animals like
You
that.
don't leave the animals with heavy things.
Can't let the animals suffer.
The animal doesn't hate you.
Nah, the animal wouldn't be packing that stuff around if he
My
didn't.
pack this, man.
Yeah, okay, so there's that. We have a lot of verses we're going to have to add here, or a lot of commands. 6, you shall not pervert the judgment of your poor in his cause. Anyone has a different one? Okay, and that makes a lot of sense. Basically, just because if a dude is poor and he goes out and commits a crime, because he is poor,
It doesn't mean he
he should be the same.
Here it says, do not turn aside the right ruling of your poor in his strife. So it's like even if he's poor, he's still got to be he's still got
Under
to
the
fall
law.
under the Torah, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't for the rich and poor. Everyone's got to fall under this. You can't just say, "Oh, you're poor. It's okay. You can do what you want."
Yeah, it's okay. He's just stole, that, or did something evil or something.
There's one Torah for everyone,
Yeah, there's one Torah, exactly.
and everyone has to fall under that.
Absolutely. I'm so glad I have the wheels to my spokes to my wheel back. I missed you guys, just so you know. Okay, 7. Keep far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay you not, for I will not justify the wicked.
So stay away from matters of rumors. Basically, stay away from rumors.
Yeah, and the innocent and righteous slay you not.
It says,
So if you jump into something that is not true or some garbage, it looks like you're going to be slayed by those who are in the right.
And many times, right, when people sit there and create rumors, and if you get into it, and then someone's life gets ruined, right? Someone loses their job because of that rumor. You've killed the innocent, right? He may not get food the next day. That's what it means to kill the innocent, right? If you get into a false matter and you join that bandwagon of hating that person, even though you know nothing, just because you hear it doesn't mean it's always true. You have to use right ruling to decipher what it is. You have to really put diligent work into the matter.
Yeah, if you're going to get involved in that, I mean, you can completely be a homewrecker. You can completely have a woman and a man ruin a marriage because of slander and the hairstylists and, where they sit there and talk and they gossip in their little things. So got to be careful about any of that. Don't take the wrong side. Because it says, I will not justify the wicked. Okay, and you shall take no gift, for the gift blinds the wise and perverts the words of the righteous.
Mine's
All right, so I'm
bribe.
going to reread that. It says, do not take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the seeing one and twists the words of the righteous.
What does that mean right there?
That means if you take a bribe, say...
What is it? What exactly? How can we define a bribe?
A bribe is something... It could be any sort of form of gift that turns your eyes away from the matter. If you are a judge, right, and this man is sentenced to 30 days in prison for a stolen TV, right? And the guy that stole the TV passed him $1,000. He goes, "Oh, it's okay. You're all right. That's a bribe." That is, it turns away from the matter. He is not punished for his crime, but rather the judge also is part of that crime now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's extremely wise, that kid. Yeah, and that's it.
And that's why Yah didn't want that, because if you have a bribe, the land will become completely wicked, right? If this man murdered another man and they paid the kill the man of righteousness, right? The priest that was supposed to judge the matter, right? He looks over this and goes, "You murdered this dude. What was the situation?" He's got the entire priest and the judges with him, and this guy pays them off, and they let the murderer go free. God's gonna destroy them for the wickedness they have all committed.
What happens is if you have a very evil man who continues to give you money, do you need to give that money back?
I would say don't accept that, right? Because that was something Yah said. Don't accept the money of a whore. Don't accept the money of from the dogs, right? He said don't accept for the pay of a dog.
Money
right?
of evil.
The money, yeah. Don't accept the money of evil because, like you said, it perverts judgment.
Right, and that would be the thing is when somebody sends you money, you're immediately grateful, right? And so you would allow evil to stand where you probably wouldn't if you weren't under the ban of the cash. Get the cash. All right, where am I? 9. Okay. And you shall not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. So there's like the entire thing. We have like 9 commands here.
And I can tell you guys from coming down to like where we're at now, all the way through South America, it's definitely different, right? You're not in your homeland, and when you have hard times, right, nobody's there for you because you don't speak the language, the people don't understand you. Sometimes they will try and take advantage of you because you're the person that is a foreigner, and they'll see that you're more fortunate than them, right? Some people that are not as fortunate will try and take advantage of you, and you know that feeling, you will know that feeling, and you'll see that person when you get into that land, right? That's what Yahuwah is saying. He goes, you went through all this stuff. Don't do what was done to you. You need to help these people. You need to bring these people in and try and help them.
Yeah, we absolutely got white taxed all the way down. When you, just by simply being white, they play what they call gringo bingo. And it doesn't matter if you're trying to cross a border. It doesn't matter if you're trying to use a bathroom at the border. It doesn't matter if you don't understand, especially if you don't speak the language, they're going to school you. And they will get you through, but they will school you for cash along the way. They know they see you one time and you're gone, so they completely shake you down. And it has happened. We've been down here, 7, 8, 9 years? I don't know.
It's almost 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah, we've been down here a long time, and when we first came down, we didn't speak a lick of Spanish. In fact, we didn't even know how to get ice. We were discussing that this morning. We're in Mexico, and we're like about to drop dead, and we're trying to describe ice to people, and they've never even seen it. We didn't know it was yellow.
It's like you're like just trying to tell them you're looking for the yellow color, and you're like ice.
I need yellow,
ice,
yellow,
and they're like, oh, okay. And they
what's yellow? They'll give you a pile of ice, but we did not know. And so now the kids all speak fluently, and that is a key to undoing a lot of the gringo bingo. But still, when we go out, or if we go out, we always get schooled because we are white. But I have to put that into the hand of being in North America and growing up on a farm. Is they always, if you had brown skin, they always made fun of you. You always got the crappy jobs. It goes, I guess, with whatever custom it is. If you look different than the custom, they're going to jack you up. And so this is why it says in the Torah, right? You should not oppress a stranger. And if that was the case, if the world lived like that, they wouldn't play gringo bingo on the way down here or day to day here.
That's what he said. He goes, you know the troubles. You know what it's like to sit there and get robbed all the way out of Egypt, all the way here. Do not do that to other people. Have mercy on these people. They're just trying to make the life like you're trying to make your life. And
we were also discussing, it was Guatemala. We ended up lost in the middle of a freaking rainforest. And we ended up paying I think $50 twice to these guys with these machetes to float our cars across this giant ravine on this little 25, what they call I can't remember, it's a 25 horsepower Rudd engine. Little tiny engine was taking our cars and I thought we were all dead for sure. One way or another, I thought we were going to either blow down this river and all be dead, or these guys were going to shank us and kill us all. And, we drove off. As you drive off of this, you drive into a bank of dirt coming off of this thing, and that was the only way for where we were at to get out of where we were at. And, it's easy to get lost. Don't oppress a stranger, because we understand exactly what went on. Okay, in 6 years you shall sow your land, and shall gather in the fruits thereof. Another command. What is this about?
This is the Jubilee, and I can teach you on the next verse.
Okay, but the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie still, that the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner you shall deal with your vineyard and with your olive yard. Okay, now does this apply to us today, or does this apply to Yisrael? only.
If you look at it today and you see like how Yisrael didn't have everything fenced off. Now everyone wants their own security, right? Everyone has their own land fenced off. They have everything. You can't get into someone else's land to get their food. Back in Israel, the fields were all open.
So that goes to the question: is this for today or is this for Yisrael only?
I would say there's a possibility we couldn't keep it right because we don't exactly know the timeline in every 7 years when it should be.
Yeah. So that's a point. That is a very point. Here's my point: is we should absolutely keep this if we could figure out what the calendar was, right? Because there's something about keeping your land, right? And this is when you don't sow food on your land, it brings nutrients back into it. And so you are able to give the land a rest. So our Creator created this so that the land actually took the rest in the 7th year. So, but here, everything's fenced off. And, if you see somebody jumping in your fence these days,
it means the war, right? They're coming to do you harm.
Yeah, they're coming to do you harm. But yeah, it should be like this. This is the way it should be.
I think another way you can do it, since we don't know the time, right? If you grow up your fields, whenever you grow up your fields, right? If anybody out there has a field that's growing, whatever they're growing, don't cut it all down. But when you finish, cut down what's left of it and go give it to the poor around you. Go find the poor and give it to them and feed them with the stuff you've grown up.
Yeah, so back in the days, right, they didn't have the machinery, they didn't have the stuff. And we actually we don't have machinery, we don't have any of that stuff, right? So we cut grass, we cut it with a machete, or we cut it with a scythe. And back in the days, it would have been the same thing, right? And so the machines, you just go and you put your combine down, you put your swather down, or whatever it is, and you just go around the entire field, and it goes right, it gets everything, right? It cuts everything down. But in the land, we would leave. We would sigh everything. We'd leave the corners of it. Why would it leave the corners, not the middle of it?
I would assume
because there's probably roads right next to the corners, and instead of people walking through the middle of your field, just go. It's easy access. Easy access. You know that if they're at the corners of your field, they're hungry, getting that food. At which point you should run out some oil to them or something else. You see the poor out there. So.
Another example I want to bring up is that that Yeshua and his disciples were poor, right? Because they ended up taking the grain and started eating it. Remember when they were grinding up on the Shabbat day? They wouldn't do that if they weren't poor, right? That was allowed for them. The Pharisees weren't angry because they took the corn. They were angry because they were grinding it up on the Shabbat because they were hungry on the Shabbat.
Yeah.
So they were obviously poor people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these guys were not rich by any means. Okay, where are we at? 12. 6 days you shall do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed.
Right. So I believe this goes under our other one of keep the honor of the Shabbat day up. Yeah, should go under that. Be our sub command. Yeah, but like you said, it'll be refreshed. That you guys should all be refreshed. Because that is what the Shabbat is for.
Yep.
For people to be refreshed.
Yep. Okay. 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be guarded, and make no mention of the name of other Elohim. Neither let it be heard out of your mouth.
All right, that definitely goes under the other. Don't worship other idols, something like that. I think that fits under that.
Yeah, and what is it? Other Elohim. We don't want to curse ourselves by mentioning other Elohim, but there's a lot of other Elohim.
Yeah, our days and months in English are all built around the false mighty ones.
Yep.
You have literally just the name God himself is just pagan, right? It comes from pagan origin.
That's
why his name is Yahuwah and doesn't not be God, because that can also be under a pagan origin.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you call him Lord, that could also be Baal, right? And
Yep.
There's a lot of pagan titles built into this, a lot of deception built into his name itself.
Father, forgive us. We just said a mighty one's name after we just read this, so...
Just an explanation.
Yeah, we're trying to explain. It's hard to explain this stuff if we don't say it, but that's what you would not say, right? You're not going to start having a swear word and say, the bad mighty one's name or something, that you just don't say it. Okay. 14. 3 times a year you shall keep a feast unto me in the year. Now, does this apply to us today?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so where does this go? Is this a new command? This is a new command, right?
I don't think we've had it. Yeah, we haven't had any commands where he talks about the feast yet. We talk about Passover and unleavened bread, but we have not heard of any other feast. We should maybe put this as command: is keep the feasts, maybe then have.
Yeah, well, you shall keep the feast unto me, and then the next one is you shall guard the feast of Matzah. What is matzah?
Matzah is unleavened bread.
You shall eat matzah 7 days as I commanded you, in the time appointed in the month of Aviv, for in it you came out of Mitzrayim, and none shall appear before me empty. Okay, so that's the first feast, right? Mm-hmm. So 14 tells us 3 feasts. 15 tells us 1 feast. The other one, and the feast of Katzar, what does yours say?
The feast, the festival of the harvest?
Yeah, the harvest.
So the first fruits of your labors.
Right, the first fruits of your labors, which you have sown in the field, and the feast of Akath. What does yours say?
Feast of
Festival and Gathering.
yeah,
Gathering, right? Which is the end of the year, which you have when you have gathered in your labors out of the field.
That's Sukkot.
Sukkot. So there's three. The 3 times in the year, all your males shall appear before Adonai Yahuwah. Okay, so it says all of your males.
So those are the.
I think you appear before him like in
Like
the
you want to be
priest
before the
or
temple, like
something.
you're supposed to bring him a sacrifice every time, like a special honorary sacrifice, like they had in the first fruits when they waved the sheaf offering. That was supposed to be for them. But these feasts still apply to us. We're supposed to still celebrate these feasts.
I just don't think we show up.
And these
in
ones
the land.
you notice are actually called festivals, which are the feasts when you are supposed to cook, and it's almost like a giant Thanksgiving day.
A hag
Yeah, hag.
feast. Okay, so 18 is no kamats shall be upon my offering of blood, and no fat of my feast shall remain till morning.
All right, mine says, "Do not offer the blood of my slaughtering with leavened bread, and the fat of my festival shall not remain until morning."
Okay,
So
and
that's for the priests, I believe, for the sacrifices they are doing.
no kamats shall be up on my offering of blood. Right, so we're not going to be offering of blood.
Right, we're not gonna be slaughtering either.
Right, but we do need to keep these feasts.
Right, we can put that under commands.
Right. Okay.
That goes under the commands.
Yeah.
I think put that there.
So we're gonna have a bunch of these. Are you keeping up, Eli?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was actually ahead until I got to this one because I wasn't sure if it goes on a list or not.
All right. This is why the spokes of the wheel are great. All right. 19.
Yes.
The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring into the house of Yahuwah Eloheka. You shall not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. Okay. What is this?
Cook a young goat in its mother's milk.
That's weird because we have the first fruits in that same verse. There must be something there about that verse being all together.
Yeah. So what? Why? What does this mean? We don't see the kid in his mother's milk. Why would we have this command?
You were supposed to sacrifice the firstborn of the goats back on these festivals, right? The firstborn, the first of every animal was supposed to be under Yahuwah. And so I assume that the way one of the sacrifices went ended up with milk or something, or you cooked it with milk in order to give it away. I don't think you were supposed to cook it with the milk. There was just something wrong with cooking it in the same mother's milk.
Yeah, it's kind of jacked up.
It's like
that you
it's like
kill the
almost like
young.
a twisted thing to like cook it in his mother's milk.
These are interesting judgments or interesting commandments because Yah has his ways for everything, and we don't know why you wouldn't use the mother's milk, but it's obviously some sort of it makes Yah angry, so we don't do that. Okay, so 20. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you in the way and to bring you into the place which I had prepared. Okay, so that'd be good. We'll take that. And I know there's messengers all around us, definitely. There's no way in the world we would survive this pit bulls without messengers trying to draw the short stick, trying to save us. Okay, 21. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Okay, so if you see an angel, don't make him angry, right?
Yeah, he's like,
So is this going on the command?
Okay, well, here we go. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared.
maybe when we
Do we have angels today?
I believe so.
absolutely we have angels today.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Maybe on our second Exodus, right when we all return to Jerusalem, there's probably gonna be messengers guiding us.
So we shouldn't offer him a ham sandwich.
Probably
No.
not. He probably
That's
might-
what
he might
classifies
He might
provoking.
just say
Yeah,
like,
is that provoking the angel?
I'd say yes.
He's probably like,
be like,
yeah,
wait,
these guys aren't
No
worth
lobster, Mr. Angel?
They probably slap around and be like, "Hey, that's sin there, man. Stop that."
Dude, you turn around with one of his fiery swords and
it.
slices
He'd
it
be
in
like,
half.
he'd give a call up to Yah. Sorry, these guys aren't worthy.
Dude, Korah would reach out from the ground and grab you and throw you in the ground. That's it.
Give us a call to yacht. Who's the next people?
Yeah, next. These people didn't make it. Fail.
Are you sure about this? Sorry.
these ones have bad jokes. We should take them now. Okay, 22. But if you shall indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies and an adversary unto your adversaries. Eli, I did not answer that. Is that a command? We didn't answer this. Okay.
I do not think so. That is a command. Maybe on our second Exodus.
Say second Exodus. So I mean, if you happen to see an angel,
If his angel says, "Here, come on,
don't
let's
provoke
go."
him. Well, don't provoke him, right? I mean, this is something we should be aware of, right?
It's almost like it's like one of the king's royal guards, right? You have to honor this dude. I mean, this dude's of a high place of power.
Yeah, these things are like deadly. I mean, they'll mess you up. 2 of them went into Sodom and Gomorrah and like messed that whole place up.
So is this a command or not?
I would say yes.
All right, so yes,
Something that you
it's not something that from back of the day.
have, but
So if you see an angel and he's like bringing you to the place which Yahuwah has
How do
prepared.
you know he's an angel and not the demon?
For his name will begin him.
Yeah,
Oh, his name,
yeah,
yeah.
come in the name of Yahuwah, right?
So if we start blessing Yah and start singing praises to Yah, the demon's gonna like run away if it's a demon.
Yeah, like in the book of Adam and Eve, when Jared started praying, the demons couldn't be near him.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, let's add that as a command. If you guys end up seeing an angel, don't offer him a ham sandwich. Okay. Let's see. 23.
Yes.
For my angel shall go before you. And
No, 22.
22.
But we went back over it. We didn't discuss it.
Okay, so but if you shall indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies and an adversary unto your adversaries. Do we have forces of good that fight for us?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
I don't think we would have survived
think
with
we'd all
all
be
that we're
dead by
doing.
now.
Yeah, we'd all be dead. There's Boss Clan has a lot more stories. We actually went after this entire Christian group went and they had a kid that was being molested by their group, and like 100 of them knew about it. Boss Clan went after them, and we ended up with lawsuits. We ended up our house raided. We ended up with all sorts of stuff. So, and at that time during the house raid, Yah closed eyes and stopped mad. I mean, these people had to come through our house with the dogs, and so Yah completely dealt with these people. And definitely, yeah. And so we, without a shadow of doubt, we've been taken care of by them. As crazy as our life is, we definitely have. So yeah, I'll be an enemy to your enemy, an adversary to your adversaries. I believe that. 23. For my angel shall go before you and bring you in unto the Emorium and to the Kittium and to the Pezium and to the Canaanium and to the Kivium and the Yevisium, and I will cut them off. Okay, no commandments there. And shall not bow down to their Elohim. You shall not bow down to their Elohim, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but you shall utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. Okay, that's a whole command right there, right?
It's a breakdown the mighty
And
one.
We do not bow to anyone but Yah, right? You
Right.
do not get on your knees. You do not serve.
The other one.
This is more like break the pillars.
This is and break down their images. So, and I mean, he's kind of talking about the people before, right?
All right.
But if
we shouldn't still bow down to it.
absolutely don't do that. Okay, 25. And ye shall serve Yahuwah Elohim, and he shall bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of you. Okay, so it says we shall serve Yahuwah Elohim.
Right?
So that's a command.
That's a command.
Let's take it. Well, you got that, Eli?
Yep.
We're going to have to go over these afterwards. Make sure you have these. You and your mother, you guys are legal beagles. You'll make it. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in your land. The number of your days I will fulfill.
All right, so none shall miscarry or be barren in your land. I shall fill the number of your days.
Okay.
Good.
So basically, that continues on from the last verse. He will bless you. All your people will have children. You guys will multiply greatly.
Right. And so is that, I mean, is there any commands or anything?
No
like that?
command, just more of a promise of a blessing.
Right. I will send my fear before you and will destroy all the people to whom you shall come. And I will make all your enemies turn their backs unto you. And I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Kinium, and the Kitti from before you.
So a little bit of context on that is these people he's talking about, the Canaanites and the Kiwites, all these people were like giant people. These were not just normal human beings. So these had to be some huge hornets to scare
Definitely.
these people out of here. These things had to be like ginormous bugs to scare these people out of the land.
Not necessarily. I don't think. I mean, it would. All you need is a swarm.
Normal people forgot about a cockroach. So I don't think so.
We'll be sitting here in South America, and all of a sudden you'll hear like mass amounts of zzz, and you'll look up, and right above you, there's thousands of like bees or hornets or wasps just going somewhere. I don't
Passing
know.
by.
Huh?
They're passing by.
Yeah, they're passing by, and it's like you think to yourself, "Wow, am I going to live after this?" You know, it's like if these things, for whatever reason, decide to come down and start biting me, it would be over. You would not
run
survive
real
that.
fast.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the size of them; it matters that there are the amount of them. So I don't need they need to be giant, but I'm sure Yah didn't mess around. I'm sure whatever he sends is not going to be happy. Okay, I will drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field multiply against you.
So he's like, I gotta make this quick. I can't let this go. You guys have to. We'll do this in a year because if it takes too long, all these animals, all the oxen, all the sheep, but there are going to be so many you guys won't be able to handle this.
Yeah, or the wild beasts. I mean, if these things multiply, or if you don't contain your animals, they'll contain you. Okay, by little and little I will drive them out from before you until you be increased and inherit the land. And I will set your bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Pelishtim, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall cut no covenant with them, nor with their Elohim. Now, this is talking about them and their land, but could this apply to us today, right? You shall cut no covenant with them, nor their Elohim. Because we are all of the tribes of Yisrael. We are all part of it. We are all in captivity. When you guys awaken and you figure out that, oh, wow, our Elohim has been calling to us, and this is the law, statutes, and commands of the Elohim Most High that we follow. What does it mean you shall cut no covenant with them, nor with their Elohim? What happens if you pledge your allegiance to a flag? And you put your hand over your heart and you look at a symbol of Mystery Babylon and pledge your allegiance to it. I mean, that's a covenant, right? You're cutting a covenant. I pledge allegiance to the flag. And that's for anybody who's not from North America, I have no idea what your schools are, but I grew up. And that's what we do in the morning. Everybody, you go to school.
Morning ritual.
You stand up, you put your right hand over your heart, and you look at the flag. You put your other hand behind your back. Some kids do, some kids don't. And you sit there and you pledge allegiance. And this was we were cutting a covenant with them, right? We're pledging an allegiance to them.
And everybody says it in like a seance style.
It is a seance style, yeah. And so, I think this should be a command. Wherever you are at, we should not be pledging an allegiance or cutting a covenant. And when you cut a covenant with them, I mean, they're going to be doing evil around you, right? You don't want to be a partakers of this at all. All right. So Eli, make sure that gets in there as a command.
It already is.
33. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their Elohim, it will surely be a snare unto you.
So I think this one is for the land of Israel, because right now everyone around in the world is in the world of sin. Everyone is in the world of everyone has their own mighty ones, and there's nothing we can do about it at this point unless we get to the land of Israel, where we can actually kick them all out.
We are slaves. We have all woken up in a slavery, exactly as the Bible says. I will disperse you to the four corners of it, and in the end days, people are going to hear about this and they're going to seek Yah, and this is why it's so exciting that we are able to do this stuff, because it's like, at the end times, it says, in fact, Hebrews 8 talks about the new covenant, and that he's not going to have to tell our neighbors, we're not going to have to tell them about Yah, because everybody knows about him. Whether or not they choose to serve him, they will all know his name, and we're slowly but surely getting to that stage. There's a lot of people in our lives all around in various places that are learning this, and they're there's a lot of excited people with this, and it's exciting.
Yeah, it's like when we were doing the Youth for Yah the other day, which we had someone comment in and say, we could read Amos 8:11, and it was talking how in the end days Yahuwah will give everyone a hunger for the knowledge of the Torah, how that everyone will have a hunger and a strive to learn his will and learn his word.
Yeah, because the only other way other than his way is darkness. It's sickness. The world is completely filthy. It is just disgusting. The men have become women. The women have become men. Their pedophilia is becoming legalized across the world. It's just a sick world we're in. And so you either are okay with this trash and garbage, and I honestly would not even if we started watching TV, we haven't watched TV for 7, 8 years?
It's been a long time.
We have no idea what's on TV, but I imagine the stuff that, because of the way that we're seeing the world, and the men becoming women and women becoming men, and the whole thing, that whole setup, I would imagine the TV shows have nothing but homosexuals and things of that nature in there, and that is an abomination, right? Men should wear what's pertained to men. Women should wear what is woman's. We all have our place. We all have our duty. Our Creator created us as we should. Men are obviously, I hate to say this, bigger than women, right? The women are now embracing and have been embracing, especially in North America. We had a women's, I don't know, in the 80s, 90s, and whatever, where all the women wanted to become men. They all started serving in the military. They all wanted the same jobs as men. And it's an abomination. It really is an abomination. Women, I'm not saying women should be in the kitchen, but I am saying that they should be in a less dangerous spot than where you have your men. Your men should take the beatings, whereas your women should be cared for, taken care of, loved, cherished, and not put in the same situation that a man who were built in every way, right? We're built way stronger than a female, and that will probably make a lot of females angry.
And that's what Yah, when he built Adam, he says, you're going to run the land, you're going to do all this, you're going to create everything. And when he created Eve, he's like, you are going to help him. She was never designed to be in the garden, be plowing the fields like Adam was. Adam was specifically designed to do that.
Yeah, and I will take stabbing my finger with thorns and picking rocks versus the curse of the woman. So I will take the sweat of the fields. All right, guys, that is it. That is almost, we're nearing an hour. We're nearing 49 minutes right here. So it's a Shabbat. Thank you guys very much for being a part of this. Everybody out there, you guys are all part of our digital family. We really, truly appreciate the people on this channel and all of you guys as you guys correspond with us and talk with us and challenge us and, just hang out with us. We do appreciate you guys and we love you guys. And so that is it. Gentlemen, do you have anything else?
Glad to be back, and Shabbat Shalom. Read your Bibles.
Yeah, have a restful day, and make sure you're resting.
Yeah, make sure you're resting and enjoying Yah's day.
All right. Shalom.